Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's going on?
This is Tony.
And I'm Jenny.
And we are Lido Loca, and it's the Lido Loca Cruise podcast.
Yes, it is.
Episode 11.
Number 11.
Well, Jenny, we're back for another week for another podcast. Are you ready to talk about cruising?
I mean, yeah, I'm ready to talk about cruising, but I'm also ready to go cruising.
Well, I mean, we still have a little bit on our cruise countdown. Not anytime soon, right?
I think it's, 4 days?
4 days.
That's right. Are you a little bit excited?
I'm 100% excited.
Yeah, we're going to be hitting the Msc Divina.
The Msc Divina, we will be going out of...
Port of Miami.
The Port of Miami, which is one of my favorite... Well, I've been out of there once. I didn't like the process of the Port of Miami.
Is it the process or the process?
I said process. I don't know where you're from. But are you a boot to go Canadian on us or what?
Maybe I'll fit it into my schedule.
Schedule? Jenny, what are you even talking about? Port of Miami. Did you love it or did you not love it?
So I did not like you just said, I didn't like the process going to it.
The process?
The process.
Which is it now? Process or process?
It's process.
Okay.
Yeah. But when you sail out, you pass South Beach, and it's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so a lot of traffic down there in Miami, and even if you're close to the cruise port, I guess if you can swing it, it's expensive. But if you can swing it, staying right where the cruise port is probably the best course of action. That's going to give you the least amount of headache getting into the port.
Right.
But, for this week, we looked at rooms right next to the cruise port, like $400 for one night.
Yeah,
$400 for one night.
And beautiful. I mean, beautiful hotels,
yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. The sky rise, you overlook the cruise port. There's a lot of cool stuff. Like, if that's your one cruise for the year and you want that full Miami experience, I would stay right down there. But
absolutely.
I think we booked a room for like $130, and it's 10 miles out. So we're going to have to deal with some traffic.
Yeah.
But the cool thing, I would say within a 10 or 15 mile radius of the cruise port, most of the hotels that we looked at have some sort of parking and some sort of shuttle service. So about $130 for a hotel room. We'll be paying $7 a night for parking opposed to, $22 at the cruise port? Right.
And then how much was the shuttle to go over, or was it included?
No, I think the shuttle's like $20 for both of us each way. So
okay.
So not too bad. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So it's the first time we've really driven to Miami from here. So it's about a 5 or 6 hour drive from the new Lido Loca headquarters here in Spring Hill, Florida.
The HQ in Spring Hill.
The HQ. And
the hill.
We thought about packing this weekend. We did not pack, but it's first and foremost in our minds.
That's right. It's always in our minds.
It's always in our minds. Now, if we could just get it onto our schedule, that would be... that would be awesome.
That would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
So yes, Msc Divina. It's our second MSC ship. I'm looking forward to that. I've watched very little about the Divina, but everything that I've seen, it's really nice looking.
Yeah, I've watched very little as well. And, I'm usually the one that does watch it because I do not like to... I don't like to waste some time, figuring out the ship.
Right.
So I'll do a ship tour. But I have not really had the time or I'm like, you know what? Let's just go in this blind.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
I'm looking forward to exploring it. Now, the layout for our itinerary, the spots that we're going to is we're going to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Right.
We're going to Phillipsburg, St. Martin.
Yes.
We are going to St. John in Antigua.
Yes.
And that's it. Those 3 spots.
Right.
And so what's our sea day layout?
I don't know what our sea day layout is, but let me look at the Shipmate app just to make sure.
All right, I'm pulling up my Shipmate app. Also, are you guys on Shipmate? You can be our friends over there on Shipmate. We are Lido Loca all together, LILIDOLOCA. Oh, my Shipmate says 4 days until my cruise.
What?
Yes, 4 days.
Let's see.
What is it, Jenny?
I just am checking.
I got it up. So February the 21st is Embarkation Day.
Right.
That's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, February the 22nd, a very significant day in our lives,
Why? Because it's the deuce deuce, or is it your half birthday?
Because it's my half birthday. And then as a bonus for you, I married you on that day.
Yes, you did.
So not only do you get the joy of celebrating my half birthday, but then you also get the joy of that I married you on that day.
I won the prize. I really did.
First and foremost.
I do have to say that.
It's
though.
our wedding anniversary, but the cool thing is it's a C day, and so immediately we didn't get too romantic for Valentine's Day because we always have our anniversary and Valentine's Day together. Valentine's Day this year fell on a Friday.
I know. What was I thinking, ladies? I really messed that up.
You messed up your gift.
And then my birthday is, right around the corner also. So within a 15-day span, you have Valentine's Day, anniversary, and my birthday.
So what we're saying, and I think it's fair, but for Valentine's Day, you got some sweets, right? You got a stuffed animal, you got a card, you got nice sentiment,
right?
You got like a desk calendar that you were looking for, and for your anniversary and Valentine's Day, you got a cruise. What are you complaining about, ladies? Hook me up out here. This man put Jenny on a cruise for Valentine's Day and her anniversary, and you're over there complaining.
Did you put me on a cruise, or did
there.
I put you on a cruise?
Who said yes to the dress?
I mean, like, who found it?
You found it,
That's
but
right.
I said yes.
Okay.
Did you not ask me?
Who booked it?
You booked it,
Okay.
of course.
I just wanted to make sure.
All banter aside, we recognize that going on the cruise is kind of what our special thing is
Absolutely.
for anniversary and for Valentine's Day. But our actual anniversary on February the 22nd is a C day.
That's right.
Which we've already started having these romanticized ideas. Like, this is going to be a great C day. We're going to maybe do some specialty dining. I don't know. It should be great. I'm excited to be on the sea. And just so you guys know, that is our main topic for today. We'll jump back into that in a minute. But the perfect sea day, we're going to talk about what our perfect sea day would be. And, spoiler, having my anniversary with my lady on sea day is pretty good. But we're going to talk in some general terms. On the 23rd, we will be in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yes. And we've visited there before.
Yes.
But what a beautiful port, right?
Yeah, going to be in there in the evening. So this will be the second time that we were there in the evening. The last time we went there in the evening, we were traveling with our friend Don Terrace from the YouTube channel Don's Family Vacations.
Right.
And
on the MSC Seaside.
On the MSC Seaside. And Don and I had a wonderful time in San Juan in the evening. And so that was pretty exciting. And then...
And our family was there, too. It was just a lovely cruise.
It was a great cruise. We had a lot of family, and it was our first time hanging out with Don. And then Don, our friend Don.
We love Don.
And then the next day, on the 24th, we will be making the short trip from San Juan over to St. Martin.
Right.
Which is very similar to what we did on the seaside. That was another great trip for us.
That's where you did the ATVs with Don.
I did an ATV tour around San Juan, or not San Juan, but St. Martin. And we have some great video for that. I think, sometimes it's hard to connect what we're talking about on the podcast back to video, but this is definitely one of those circumstances. The seaside went to San Juan, it went to St. Martin.
And St. Thomas, I think that time.
Yeah. So if I could, I would recommend that to anybody out there. If you want to see some of these locations that we're talking about, go check out our vlogs from the MSC Seaside.
And would you recommend that excursion for people that are, on the... Let's drive fast.
I loved it. I mean, it's not necessarily a drive fast, but it was a cool way to see the island. I don't have much ATV experience. It was really easy to learn how to drive them. And we went all over St. Martin. We spent some time at Maho Beach. We saw the planes fly in. It was a great excursion. It cost me $100. It's one of those deals, if you booked it early, I think you could have saved $20, but it was $100 well spent. I think it was like 6 hours out on the ATVs, and I would do it again.
Awesome.
I would do it again. And then on this trip, after St. Martin, the next day we go to St. John in Antigua.
Which is a new port for us.
Brand new port. I did watch some videos. I woke up real early today, and I did watch some videos on Antigua. I don't know what I think so far.
Why is that?
So the way the port looked to me, it reminded me of the way the port in Nassau looks, and also some of the areas of Cuba that we went to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, we've gone to some cruise ports that are really nice and built up. I'm thinking about Falmouth, Jamaica. Like, they have a really thriving cruise port. And St. John is, I'm sure it's great. It just looks a little different. It looks a little maybe more dated or something like that. So I'm interested to see what the vibe of the cruise port is. But it'll be our first time there. But another beautiful island. A lot of recommended things to do on St. John are like beach breaks and swim with stingrays and, you know, outdoor type activities, those kind of things. So I'm not sure what we're going to get into in St. John, but yeah, it should be interesting. Our first time there in St. John.
That's pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome. So,
and then what's exciting? Do we have 2 sea days at the end?
We do have 2 sea days at the end.
That's pretty great.
There was a question in our Facebook group, the Lido Loca cruising community. Everybody's invited. Come on over. But there was a question, and there was a lady who said, I prefer the sea days at the beginning, and my husband prefers the sea days at the end.
Oh, I remember seeing that.
Where do you stand on that question? Do you like your sea days in the beginning, or do you like your sea days in the end?
I like them in the end.
I like them in the end, too. Why do you think that is?
I think because... So, like, when you go to the ports, right, like, it's a lot of hustle bustle and, you know, getting things together and scheduling things and making sure you have everything when you get off the ship. So some of those things do make me a little, I don't know, maybe like uneasy, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, so then at the end of the cruise, I like to have the sea days because then I feel relaxed and, you know, I feel like, okay, this was a fantastic vacation.
I'm the same way. So we've had an experience where, and I think this is when we go to Key West, or the last time that we went to Key West, where we went through embarkation, which if you followed along, or if you're brand new, welcome. If you're new, find some way to say hello to us. We welcome to the locafam. Welcome to Lido Loca. Tony and Jenny, we're really glad to have you.
I'm Jenny.
That's right. But what I really, I think the last time we went to Key West, I was going to say, for us, the 3 pain points of cruising, and maybe it could be 4 pain points, but the 3 pain points are embarkation,
right,
the muster drill, and debarkation, and maybe getting off at ports. That might be a 4th pain point for me.
Right, because it's almost like the embarkation, debarkation all over again.
Yeah.
Just in a smaller
smaller scale, yeah. So what I don't like is when you have that crazy embarkation, tired, you know, you woke up the hotel, you're super excited, you worked through the embarkation, you made it through the muster drill, you got your room, you got it unpacked, you got to your first dinner, you went to some shows, you stayed up late, you got to hit the casino for the it's a long day.
It is a long, wonderful day.
But man, I think when we went to Key West, we could get off the ship like the next day at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in Key West. And I was whooped.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to change the way you do embarkation day if you have a port day. We don't get that very often. Usually we'll see, embarkation day, then a sea day, and then you move into the ports. And a lot of times you get a sea day toward the end, but I definitely like the 2 sea days at the end, because on the last sea day, you are moving your mindset toward debarkation, right?
Right.
You got to repack. You got to have that last, fun dinner in the MDR. You got to, that you got to cash out your casino, and it all kind of, but having 2 sea days at the end, that means you have like 1 sea day to just
right. And on that last sea
fun.
day, like you're kind of winding yourself down, right, and packing, and it's depressing, but yet you want to stay up so late because you want to just enjoy every minute that you have on that ship. So that's why I really do love, the 2 sea days, because you have that 1 sea day at the end that's just like, oh, I really am going to stay up late, and I don't have to I could sleep in tomorrow.
And the wild thing is, as content creators, you have this list either written on paper, which is what I try to do, and then it becomes a mental list of all the things that you want to film. There's a lot of people that you connect with that want to see what you're doing, want to see the things that you're doing on the cruise ship. And so I've got this running list, like, I got to make sure I get some video of this, or I got to make sure I talk about some stuff like that. And sometimes when you run into that last sea day, if that list is long, not only all that other stuff you have to do on the last day, but, from content creation perspective, like, I got to get this filmed, I got to get that filmed.
Right.
It can be a little stressful, but I do like the 2 sea days at the end, and take it all with a grain of salt. We're sitting here talking about being stressed about cruising.
Right.
I mean, it's
silly,
it's really not that
silly.
It's really not that crazy. But when you're in that cruise life, there are some things that are easy and there are some things that are stressful. So, but what we want to talk about as our main topic today is we want to talk about the perfect sea day.
The perfect sea day. How nice.
And so, Jenny, I want you to describe for me your perfect sea day, and then I will describe my perfect sea day. And then we have a list of 10 things that you could or should do or may want to do on a sea day. But it's all about this. So let's get in that sea day vibe. Let's get in that super chill mode sea day, and let's talk about what makes a great sea day.
Okay, so in my imagination, right, the perfect sea day would go like this, and don't interrupt me.
I will not. I'm going to sit here with my mouth closed. You keep talking.
So in my imagination, the perfect sea day would go something like this. I would wake up, and the wind would be blowing in from the balcony, and then someone would deliver us some breakfast, and we have some breakfast and coffee and maybe some mimosas. I don't really drink, but mimosas sound just like in my imagination. So kind of cool, right? So we'd have some mimosas, and then there'd be a knock at the door. Oh, we are ready for the two of you to come for your, couples massage. So then we go spend some time in the spa, probably about 2 or 3 hours. And then they shuttle us over for a specialty lunch that it's just the two of us in the restaurant, right? And then we go back to the cabin, we take a nap, we just kind of chill, the breeze is coming in, you smell that salt water, and then we go to a specialty dining and some shows. And that would be kind of like, in my imagination, right, like the perfect sea day. But in reality, for me, what my perfect sea day is, let's get some coffee. Let's go chill out. Let's go hang out in the casino. Let's just kind of roam the ship and like not have a time frame to do anything, like just on our own time. All right, you can talk now.
Okay. Wow, that was hard. So that's interesting because I don't know that I ever heard your idealized sea day.
Oh, I mean, that's just in my imagination.
But now
right?
I have some things I could. It's important to listen, fellas, and if you can get away with it, it's important to always run a video camera on your wife because then you can just roll it back and make a list of things that I don't know if that would look weird for everybody in every aspect of life, but no, I think that's a pretty good ideal sea day, and I think you described what our normal sea days are like. It's pretty chill, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so my perfect sea day, and don't talk until I'm finished.
Oh, okay. I won't interrupt you.
Don't talk until I'm finished.
What?
Okay.
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 All right.
Okay, can I start now?
Go.
So
I'm sorry.
See what I'm dealing with here. The perfect sea day for me is no pressure, zero stress, whatever that means, right? And the way that it normally plays out for us is on many of the days when you go cruising, you have to wake up at a certain time.
Right.
I gave up a long time. I used to have to wake up to film the sunrise. I was religious about filming the sunrise. Somewhere I gave that up. I said, look, I don't want my cruise life to be tied to an alarm clock every day. But there are days that it is tied to an alarm clock. If you're going to get off at the port, if you're going to do excursions, you got to set your alarm. So my perfect sea day begins with no alarm and a quiet cabin and the ability to sleep late. I like those things. And then because I like to sleep late, I do enjoy going to the main dining room on the sea day, whether or not that's a sea day brunch or whether it's just a late breakfast. I like that. And then I'm not much for going out in the sun. The sunshine's a big thing on sea days, but I get sunburnt, all that kind of stuff. I prefer to find indoor activities. And for me, those fall into a couple areas. I like to play trivia, especially if there's something on the line. I don't really like to play trivia if there's nothing good to win. It's funny. I mean, it's funny like that. So if I'm on a Carnival ship, for example, and I can compete for a ship on a stick, I will play. But if there's nothing on the line, like if I'm on Royal, I don't care. I'm not doing that. Sometimes I will look and try to find something interesting to do, but I don't know. I don't really like the day gamble. We'll talk about this when your chance to talk. I don't like the day gamble, but so what I usually do in that late mid-afternoon is I like to sleep. So I like to wake up late. I like to eat late. I got to do some trivia possibly, if there's something interesting going on, like I'll go look at an archery or something that I haven't seen before. I might fit that in. I might film a little bit. But for me, I like to fall back asleep at some point. I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. And then for dinner, main dining room, and then whatever the show of the evening is, and then maybe a couple shows, but then back to the casino. That's my big C day. I like to get up late, sleep during the day, and stay up late. You may talk now.
Oh, I can speak again. Thank you.
I'm surprised you made it through that. I went long.
It was very hard.
I went long.
I was biting my tongue.
I went long just to see if you could keep your mouth shut.
What?
Your mouth is shut. So what do you think about that? Let's take the one thing out of there.
Okay.
Day gambling. Is day gambling different than night gambling to you?
Absolutely. I think during the day, they both have very different vibes, right? Like I think that during the day, it is people that have gone on the cruise ship and this is just my feeling, right? That may have gone on the ship to actually just gamble.
Right. And that's a strategy, right? One of the things that the marketing department, that the casinos do on cruise ships is if you gamble enough, if you put enough on the line, if you risk enough of your coin, they're going to give you some free stuff. And sometimes that equals a free cruise, but you got to play. I mean,
right.
You have to play. And so I think some people are there with that mindset of, I got to hit the casino with enough frequency that they're going to let me come back again for free.
Right.
And yeah, so you do see that during the day. I would not disagree with that.
But at night, I'd have to say, like, you have... So, like, not that I'm a professional gambler or anything, right? But, I know how to do my slots, and I just kind of just sit there, right?
Right.
But then you have... like people that do not gamble at all, and they'll just come by as they're walking through the casino, and put like $20 and do one pull on the thing.
Right. This is an interesting conversation that I've never really thought about. But what you're saying is there is a casual gambler, and then there's somebody that's got a little more purpose.
Right.
Both can be equally winners or losers.
Well, when we were on the MSCC side,
yes,
the lady that won that big jackpot that I was sitting next to, she was a casual gambler. She had come in there because that's one place that you could smoke, right? So she went in there just to smoke a cigarette before they were going to dinner. And her daughter was actually outside of the casino because she wasn't of age and, she didn't want her around the cigarettes. Anyway, she put in $20. And then she won like $12,000?
That's crazy.
And I was sitting there all week and I'm thinking, what is going on?
And just so I will call Jenny a dedicated gambler, not a casual gambler. But what we're talking about here is Jenny will see how long she can play on $40 a day.
Right.
So she'll be playing the penny machine. Whatever it takes to extend that $40 for as long as possible. Always with the hope that lightning will strike and that you'll win some sort of jackpot. So I could imagine if you're grinding it out with your $40, if you're making your way around all the slot machines, and some normie, some casual person sits next to you, $20 in and wins $12,000. You were happy for her, but maybe not so much.
I mean, absolutely, I was happy for her, and I think I was also like in shock. I'm like, wow, they really do have payouts.
That's pretty funny. I think from the last cruise we went on, the Sunrise, Carnival Sunrise,
right?
I did see a lady win $11,000 on a slot machine.
Wow, weren't you excited?
I was excited. Yeah. I mean, they do a good job of making a big hubbub about it. So.
Right.
It's cool. Hey, just disclaimer out there, we gamble for entertainment. We know nobody's getting rich gambling, that kind of thing. Everybody chooses how they want to spend their money.
Right.
We're big fans of the gambling, okay? So if you're not into gambling, we appreciate that. But just take it with a grain of salt. We recognize that gambling is a losing proposition. And so instead of like Jenny buying, hundreds of dollars worth of handbags, she'd rather grind out $40 at the slot machine and you know me, I'm not blowing all my money either on anything else. So it's just a form of entertainment for us.
Absolutely.
But one of the reasons we love to cruise.
That's right.
Is the casino. So yeah, for me, day gambling versus night gambling. Unfortunately, the game that I choose to play is more fun when there's a lot of people into it. So I like to play craps. I throw the dice, and not all the time. And this is, you know, land-based smaller casinos too. They don't always have a craps game going.
Right.
And that's true for the cruise ships. So sometimes on a sea day, you might hit it at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. There's no action. There's no craps game going. Sometimes you don't even get any action on the craps table until like 9 p.m. or something like that.
Are you going to get any? That's what I'm looking up right now on the phone. Is that last time when we were on MSC Seaside, there was no craps table.
There was no craps table on the Seaside. I don't know if there is one on the Msc Divina, but I'm okay. Like to me, there's enough on the cruise ship that I can not gamble. I mean, I like to gamble. You know, on the Sunrise, I stretched my bankroll the whole cruise. I had a good time gambling, but you know,
and then they wanted you to come back.
Yeah, that was the first casino offer we ever got.
That's right.
But you know, if there's no craps table, that'll be a bummer. I do know how to play some other games, but I don't get the same enjoyment as I do at the craps table. So definitely for me, there's a different vibe in the evening than there is during the day. So on my sea day, my perfect sea day, I'm hoping to get dinner and at least 2 shows in by 10 or 11, and then gamble from like 11 to 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. That's usually I'm happy waiting to test the fates until that late night window. And another reason I like the day gamble is because I do like to save that window in the evening for gambling. So I don't want to blow my bankroll. I don't want to lose my bankroll during the day, and then just at night be like, oh, what are we gonna do now?
Right. You know, and what's kind of cool is that my budget is $40
a day.
A day. Right. So I go during the day, and then when you come late, it's after midnight.
Yeah.
So I consider that another day.
Oh yeah. So if you've, that's a good point. It's like, where'd you get that other $40, Jenny? Well, it's like a whole nother day, right?
It's a whole nother day.
But yeah, so casino open all day on the sea day, so it's very, very good that way. And something else that happens on depends on the cruise line. Some cruise lines have this every day, but like when we go on Carnival, if we want to do tea time, that's another sea day activity.
Right, I love tea time.
And there's interesting things to do on the sea day. Most of the time, that's when they're going to hold like their hairy man chess contest. You know, some of that fun outside Lido stuff. We don't always participate in it. So the perfect sea day. So let's transition. We do have a list of 10 things to do on a sea day. We've talked about some of them here. I'll read off some items, and Jenny, just tell me what you think about them.
Okay.
Number 1, sleep in.
Oh, yes. That's my favorite. No alarm, like you said, and yes.
Can I talk out of school a little bit? Can I tell a little story about you?
Sure.
Regardless of what day it is or whether or not we have an alarm set,
right?
Sleep in is always on Jenny's list.
Absolutely.
What's funny is on a sea day, I've seen Jenny wake up earlier on a sea day than what she had to wake up for on a port day.
It's so weird in my head.
And be completely happy on the sea day and completely upset on the port day when the alarm is going off.
I don't know why that is. I've always been like that though.
So this is, and I mean this in no disrespect because I love you, but this is what I love about you. My favorite, this is the mini phases of Jenny on a port day. So Jenny's alarm will go off at a certain time on a port day, which usually means we have about 2 hours to get ready.
Right.
Right. And then we go through the stages. The first stages is I'm convinced I'm sick. This is normally how it happens. The alarm will go off for the first time, and Jenny will roll around, and she'll turn the alarm off, and I'll get up, and I'll be like, all right, we got to get going. And she's like, oh, I think I'm sick. Something happened to me since 3 a.m. in the casino, and now I'm sick. Let me just lay here for a second and see if I'm better. Okay, I'll go get you some coffee. So then when I come back and get some coffee, it's always the second phase, which is the questioning phase. Should I get off the cruise ship? I might be feeling better, but I might be sick. Should I get off the cruise ship? And then that phase passes, and then maybe she gets in the shower. And then phase number 3 is I'm angry that we're leaving the cruise ship.
I guess I'm really just a ship girl.
Is that a good observation?
It's okay.
The phases of Jenny getting
Let me
off
do the
cruise.
phases of Tony.
Yes.
Baby, it's time to get up. Okay, I'll go get you some coffee. Oh, you'll be okay. Those are the phases of Tony.
Yes. But
He's so happy in the morning, and you're just so happy in the morning.
the beautiful thing about the sea day, we don't have that conversation.
That's right.
So number 1, sleep in. Number 2 on the list of things to do on a sea day, we've talked about it. Go to brunch or eat a late breakfast.
Yes. Because we're going to sleep in.
Yes. A lot of times when we sleep in, we miss the buffet, but we can still make a lot of times main dining room on sea day will go to like 1 o'clock, that kind of thing.
Right.
And it doesn't hurt my feelings so much to miss the brunch. The buffet. Are you a buffet or are you a main dining person?
I'm a main dining person.
What do you like about that?
I think I like the organization. I think I enjoy no line cutting.
Oh, the line cutters get on your nerves a little bit?
A little bit.
It's like, how rude.
Yeah, I just think it's rude.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've noticed that sometimes we will have the exact same thing for our main dining room breakfast. Like we've gone to just main dining room breakfast where all they serve you is like toast and sausage, and I've seen our plates look exactly the same way that they do in the buffet, but been more happy to go have that given to us at the main dining room than the buffet. Maybe it is the people factor. The cool thing for me, at least with the main dining room, at the buffet, it feels like you're always engaged with the people, right?
Right.
You got to get up. You got to go engage with the people to navigate lines. You got to engage to make sure you're touching tongs, and you got to engage when you're getting back to your chair. And most of the time in the buffet, it's like very open. It's very loud. The cool thing with the main dining room scenario is that once you get seated, you don't really have to engage with the people that much.
Well, and that's an important thing right there, right? Is that someone looks for a seat for you in the main dining room.
That's a great point. Man, that is gold right there.
But in the buffet, it's like I need a magnifying glass to see 3 miles if there's a table
It's
open.
like the Hunger Games, Lord of the Flies, all rolled into one. Who can get this table? You got to deal with seat savers.
Right. But you just go into the MDR and like, hey, seat for 2, please. Table for 2.
And they'll hook you up.
That's right.
That's great. Yeah, so on the sea day, it's a great time that if you don't have to just grab something quick at the buffet, that you can go and you can relax. It takes longer, to eat at the MDR,
But it's a sea day.
but it's a sea day.
You're chilling.
I like it. Now, number 3, we don't participate in very much, but if I did, this would be the day that I do it. Day drinking.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, I don't drink that much, but to me, this would be a great day to just drink all day.
Well, and especially if you have a second sea day, in the beginning or the
Like
end.
a recovery day.
That's
well,
right.
So that's the thing that always worries me. Like if you hit it hard on the cruise ship and you got to go to port the next day, I don't think you'd want to drink. I mean, I know a lot of people power through it, right? They'll drink into the evening. They'll get up a little hungover. They'll go do it's all part of that cruise life. But for me, I don't want to feel bad the next day. And so the cool thing about a sea day, if it's followed by a port day, you could start at breakfast. You could get a mimosa. You could get a Bloody Mary. And you could quit drinking by like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock and then still have this big recovery window before you go to port. So I think day drinking is definitely something viable to do on a sea day. I mean, it's viable any day, but the day that I would choose to do it would be on a sea day.
Right. So we did talk about like my imagination what a sea day is.
Yes.
And I did say mimosas, but you just said Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
I'd rather a Bloody Mary.
You'd rather the Bloody Mary
Yes.
than... I'm going to make a confession. I got a confession to make. I've never had a mimosa.
Really?
I know it's just champagne and orange juice, but I don't even know what that tastes like.
Oh, it's good.
Mimosa.
It's sweet.
I do like Bloody Mary.
And that's why I think I like it, right? Like it just, like you said, we don't really partake in drinking so much, but when I do drink, like when I do drink.
When you do drink, you prefer.
I prefer something sweet.
So
But I do love a good Bloody Mary with olives and a little bit of hot sauce.
I was going to say, why do you think I like the Bloody Mary?
Oh, it's the olives and the hot sauce and
Right.
the tomatoes.
It's an olive delivery system.
That's right.
I should drink martinis too, just for the olives.
Yes.
All right, number 4 on the list, something that you could do on a sea day. And again, some cruise lines have this every day, but like if you're a Carnival cruiser, tea time is available on most sea days.
Right. And like on Princess, they have the high tea.
Yeah, and they do that every day. Right?
Every day.
Yeah.
It was so wonderful.
So yeah, you'll have to check on the cruise lines, but a lot of them have gone away from the daily tea to just on the sea day. So
Right.
be looking for it there. Number 5 on the list of top 10 things to do on a sea day, it probably should be higher on our list. Like these aren't ranked in any order, but number 5, the casino.
Yes.
If you are a day gambler or if you got to get that fix, that's the place to do it. A lot of cruise lines, that's where you can smoke in the casino, and so casino, gambling, smoking, a lot of that goes together. Drinking, and you can always get right in the middle of that on the sea day. Avoid the sun, stay as pale as possible. That's me. Go do some day drinking.
That's my honey.
Go do some day drinking in the casino. Number 6.
And if you do partake in the casino long enough, they give you free drinks.
That's right. It all works together.
That's
free
right.
cruises, free drinks.
That's right.
Number 6 on the list, not one that we do a lot, but one that a lot of people do, lounge by the pool.
Yes.
And it's good or bad, right? So I'm a crowd avoidance kind of person. So
Right.
there's things on this list that would definitely not be crowd avoidance. So my personal sea day is I'm staying away from the people. I guess every day I'm staying away from the people. But it's a party by the pool, right? There's a lot of energy. There's a good vibe by the pool. There's some
Absolutely.
challenges with lounging by the pool on a sea day. You got to get a chair, right? If you get up early, when I used to get up every day to look at the sunset or sunrise, there would be chairs saved already on the sea day. Like as soon as
And
the
nobody
worker,
there.
and nobody there.
How dare they?
As soon as the workers would put those chairs out, there would be, because that's where the party is at. That's where all the Adonises and the Venuses go out and glisten in the sun and revel and have fun poolside. It sounds like a good time. I'm just not built for it. I don't
Well,
think.
and listen, it looks like a great time too.
Yeah. If it wasn't so hot.
Right.
And the sun wasn't
and
out.
that's my thing. I just don't like the sun pounding on me and then sweating, and I don't like all that.
It's the beautiful thing about the cruise life is all that goes on while all the other stuff that we were talking about.
Absolutely.
So lounge by the pool.
That's why cruising is great for everybody.
Cruising is great for everybody. Number 7 on the list is sunrise, sunset.
Yes.
If you're into that, right? I would highly recommend, even if you're not into it, take one day on your cruise and watch the sunrise. Just go up and still your mind. Take your loved one or go by yourself. Still your mind as the dawn breaks, and watch the sun rise over the horizon.
Are we going back to my imagination?
A little bit, and this one's
Let's
easy.
go also one more deeper in that imagination. In the evening, just walking down the deck of the moonlit deck, hand in hand, and the wind blowing just so ever gently.
We can do it. We can do it
Okay.
all. So sunrise or sunset.
And I'll be like, hey, you got another $40? Let's go to the casino.
yeah, forget the moon. It's time to go see how the buffalo are running in the casino.
That's right, because they have the wolf that bark at the moons in the casino.
That's right. So yeah, go for a sunrise if you can get up that early, or if not, go for a sunset. A lot of times sunset conflicts like with early dining, and so it's a really great time if you don't have early dining. It's a really great time to go out on the deck with your honey and watch the sunset. It's beautiful. I know it sounds hokey. I don't really love nature 100%, but we talked about it on the last podcast. There's something magical about being on the sea. And those are 2 times of the day where that magic really gets ramped up, where you can really calm yourself and respect the fact that you're in a part of a bigger universe. And I would highly recommend it, even if you don't lean that way, if you don't have those kind of feelings. You never know how it's going to catch you until you try it. But again, it's a pain in the butt to do on a port day because you got stuff to do and you got places to be and you got to get up the next day. Again, sea day is a perfect day to either catch the sunrise or the sunset.
Well, in the sunset, I wonder what the ratio is of time frame of how many people get engaged at sunset on a ship.
That would be interesting.
Right. With mimosas in hand.
I think if I was going to propose to you on a casino, I would.
A casino?
Oh, I messed up my joke. If I was going to propose to you on a cruise ship, I would do it in the casino.
You would?
I would get down on one knee and try to distract you from watching the buffalo run. And be like, Jenny, I got this ring from the coin pusher. Would you marry me?
Listen, that's a great thing. My dad, my dad and mom had gotten together very young, and he had told her, hey, I got you a 3-carat ring, let's get married. And, my mom was pretty excited.
Yeah.
Well, it was really a 3-carat ring.
Which is what?
That you would get out of a gumball machine. It had 3 carats on it.
Wow. Was she she married the guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
3
They also got divorced, but,
Well,
they stayed very good friends.
I didn't have to.
My dad was a great jokester.
Your dad was a great jokester. All right, so sunrise, sunset, number 8 on my list, and this is another one we don't do a lot, but I do see people doing this a lot. Explore the shops.
Absolutely.
I think on the sea day, there's a lot of sales going on. The $10 sale. This annoys me with cruise ships sometimes. I don't like when they take the wide open spaces and they fill it up with shopping. I know they're there to make money. I know that if you can put product in front of people, you can get them to impulse buy it. But man, it annoys me when the shops pull all of their wares out into the walkway and you have to walk around all this stuff for sale just to get to the next place. I know it's a strategy. I still don't like it. But on the sea day, you'll see a lot of it, right? Atriums filled with at least like I'm thinking when we went on the Royal Caribbean ship, when I went on the Spectrum of the Seas, when we went on the Oasis of the Seas, they take that beautiful Royal Promenade where they have parades and where you can march through. They fill it up with shopping.
Right.
You're never shopping on a cruise ship, are you?
I don't ever shop.
Sometimes you like the $10. We'll wander through there.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, you save that casino money. Save that casino money. Number 9.
I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't cry if you bought me a ring or earrings or something.
Oh, you wouldn't cry? Well, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you bought me one of those new GoPros that they always have on. Whatever. How come the guys?
It's in my imagination.
Let me ask this. Okay. In this day and age.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the right way to say it. But why do the guys always have to be romantic? I'm a sensitive young man. I want some romance too, Jenny.
Okay.
Why do I have to do all the romancing here?
Because you're more creative than I am.
Oh, so punish me because I'm more creative?
Yeah.
This seems like a topic for couples therapy. All right, let's move back to the list. Number 9.
Next week on La Lido Loca podcast.
Number 9. This is a thing to do on a sea day. I say throw out the schedule.
Oh, get rid of it.
Now,
I love that.
Don't complete. My opinion is I would not the day before that day. I would not say I'm doing all these things. That's what I mean by throw out the schedule.
Right.
But I still wouldn't go unstructured. So on a sea day, maybe while I'm at brunch, I might be looking to see if there's anything interesting in the next couple hours.
Right.
Pick and choose, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm not completely okay, I'm not going to do anything because I do believe that you could miss out on some things on a cruise.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm not making a list the night before and going, look, it's 8:15. We didn't make it to the freaking morning show. There's no place for that in the cruise life for me, that kind of intense. We missed it,
Right.
You'll see people on the cruise ship like that.
Yeah, it makes me sad for them.
Yeah.
But that's how they roll. It's the cruise life.
Some people love that structure, though.
Right.
So I don't know if I'm sad for them. I just want them not to bother me.
Well, I mean, when they're screaming in the middle, what I'm saying is it makes me sad when they're screaming at each other.
Nobody should scream at each other on
Right.
a cruise ship.
No.
I think that's the big takeaway.
Absolutely.
Nobody should scream at each other. And then number 10, and I've got a bonus one because looking at my list, I realized there was an important one I left off. Number 10, I put trivia and daytime activities. There's a lot of opportunities to do things. I do not believe you can be bored on a cruise ship. I've heard people say, could you be bored on a cruise ship? On a sea day, that is probably the most opportunity to be bored because there's
Right.
nothing else to do. You're just staying on the cruise ship. and they fill up the calendar with things to do. So you should be able to. We've done some crazy stuff just to see what we folded origami on a sea day.
Well, and you remember I made keychains with my kid, my nieces and nephews. You know, so there's always something to do. Even like for the fitness lover, you know, like I remember when we went with your brother and our sister-in-law Heidi. You know, they went to a spin class.
And spin classes.
Yeah, I mean, like you could do anything.
The morning mile. So make sure that you partake. If you're somebody who feels like you could be bored, there's plenty for you to do, and those are great things to do. Top 10 things to do on a sea day. That was 10 things. Number 11, probably one of the most important things. I don't know why I didn't put it on the list. Take a freaking nap.
Take a nap.
That's the bonus.
That's perfect.
There's nothing. I love sleeping during the middle of the day. Here's the pro tip, though. If you do go back to your cabin, there's a couple things to unpack here. First of all, on the cruise ship, you have to know your room cabin steward's routine.
Right.
Right? And so you got to, for us, we like to get our room cleaned twice a day. We like to get the morning cleaning. We like to get the evening turned down. And so you got to get a sense of when you have to be out of the room and then how much time you have to give before you can come back. Now, that's something you figure out as your cruise goes on, right?
Right. And sometimes you never figure that out.
Sometimes you never figure it out. But by the end of the cruise, when you have 1 or 2 sea days, you got to figure it out.
Absolutely.
And so on the sea day, that's the key. You got to know the routine. And so you got to get out of the cruise cabin in enough time that this guy or gal can clean your room. And then you got to give them enough time to clean your room. And so you got to strategically figure out when you're going to nap. So you come back, everything's made up in your cabin. It's good to go. It's time to take a nap. The one key thing that you have to do, and I made a video about this recently, is you have to put up the do not disturb sign.
Why is that?
Because a lot of people will walk into your cruise cabin. It's one of the only vacations to me that's like that. Sometimes the room steward will pop back in. Sometimes room service, if they have something, will pop in. We've even been in our cabin and like an officer came by to pop in.
Oh, do you remember that? I was like, ooh.
Yeah, there was something. It
had nothing
to do with us. It was something to do with the leak in a cabin on a previous sailing. And it's like, hey, I'm the engineering officer. I just want to look around your cabin. It's like, okay. So you got to have that. But the key thing is they will not open your door if you have the do not disturb sign. And some cruise lines actually have a deadbolt that you can lock that makes it where people can't come in your room anyways.
Right.
So if you're going to nap, which I think is essential for the sea day, make sure you put up the do not disturb.
Yeah, you see, and I'm so opposite, right? Like I would rather sleep in later. Because, like, if I sleep during the day, it's like I just don't want to do anything when I get up.
We have, and to me, this has happened on port days more than sea days. You get back from port, you've been out in the sun, it's been hot. Say it's 3 o'clock. We might have a 5 or 6 o'clock dinner time. Let's say it's 2 o'clock. Let's be realistic. We get back at 2 o'clock, and we take a nap, and then that alarm goes off at 4 o'clock so you can be ready by 5 or 5:30. It can be hard to get up.
It's very hard to get up.
Because that, I'm talking, napping on the sea day is nice because you're just doing it for the sake of napping. You're just gloriously declaring, I'm going to sleep.
That's right.
Because I can. Because I'm a grown man and I'm on a cruise ship and I can just go to sleep. Sometimes on those port days, you just go to sleep because you have to. You get back at 2 o'clock and you're like, I just walked 14,000 steps. The sun beat down on me. An iguana jumped on my head. I'm traumatized. I almost missed the cruise ship. I was in a foreign country. I just got to go to sleep.
That's right.
And then you don't want to wake up. So that is the difference. There is, I never even thought about it, but there is a difference between the glorious chill napping on a sea day and the, I just have to pass out sometimes on the port day.
Right.
It's hard to get back up. It's hard to get back up. All right. So that was our list of things to do on a sea day. What would you add to it? Leave a comment somewhere. Reach out to us on Facebook. Let us know. All right, so as we bring episode 11 to an end, I just want to say a big thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks to everybody who's left us. We've got a lot of positive reviews on, podcast apps, those kind of things. Just a quick reminder that not only is this an audio podcast, but it's a video podcast, and we do a lot of video. So if you want daily cruise information, join us over at the Lido Loca Cruise Show on YouTube. We've also started doing some daily vlogs at Loca Vlogs. And, of course, you can see the podcast here at the Lido Loca Cruise Podcast YouTube channel. I'll leave all those linked. And if you got any feedback or if you just want to drop a line and give us some encouragement, send me an email, Tony@lalidaloca.com. We would appreciate that. But yeah, I can't say enough about the continued support. There is some extra content if you're looking for that over at Patreon. We're at www.patreon.com/Lido Loca. I'll leave links for all of that, but you can get some extra video. There's a lot of stuff. And really, I just want to say thanks. Jenny, are you excited to go cruising next week?
I am excited to go cruising, and and just to piggyback on to what you were saying, thank you, to everybody that does listen and, leaves us a nice review. We appreciate that.
A 5-star review.
5-star, please.
5-star. It reminds me when I used to drive Uber, you were just looking at the person like, are you going to give me a good star review or is my ranking going to go down?
Yeah.
I was an excellent driver, just so you know. That's one thing, before we get out of here.
Let me do that big laugh.
Before we get out of here, Jenny always questions whether or not I'm a valid driver.
That's right.
I would get emails from Uber talking about how good a driver I am.
Oh, stop it.
There's a large corporation that's called me a good driver, and Jenny, you need to respect it.
Oh, all right.
You need to respect it. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. My name's Tony.
And I'm Jenny.
And we are Lido Loca. And until the next time.
We'll see you on the Lido.
We'll see you on the Lido.
Bye.
Bye.